Careful what we wish for.
Yeah, the feedback will be like opening a fire hydrant. I guess I do.
Yes, good answer, Larry.
Let me go look. I'll see. You got a little horse.
I made it abundantly clear I don't care by appearing this way every day. I guess I'll start bringing a big old can of Aquanet and let you just spackle it before we start. I'll handle the hair situation. You just do your great job. And, okay, yes, ma'am. Lord.
Picky.
I know, it's like having a work life. Hello, I'm Larry, and this is Carter's Country. Today I'm here with the lovely and talented Billy Carter. Who wrote this? I have family that watches this.
Lovely. We can leave that word out.
Okay, well, anyway, we're just going to talk about guns today, I promise. And what we're going to talk about is some cleaning tips and things you need to know when it's time for your AR-15 to be cleaned up. You know, Billy, I think a lot of times an AR-15 is so fun to shoot. People get out there, you know, whether they're hunting or just sports shooting. They get done, they get home, they're tired, they put the gun up, and they say, well, I'll clean it tomorrow. And then, you know,
Here we
days
go.
turn into weeks and months.
Yeah, that's the exact thing. That's just what happened with this gun. We took it on a hog hunting helicopter ride about 3 weeks ago. I thought for sure when I got back home I would, go ahead and clean it, but unfortunately here it is 3 weeks later and it's not cleaned yet.
I'm sure it's fine. It's not like dusty or anything down in South Texas. It shouldn't be a problem.
No, not at all. Not at all.
All right, well, take us through the steps to get this thing back in good, clean working order.
Okay. Start as always, golden rule of thumb with any kind of guns is always you're going to check and be sure that you have no ammunition in the gun whatsoever.
Right.
And always safety should be first, so you will be sure the magazine is not in the gun, and you'll actually physically look into the actual chamber and look and be sure there's nothing inside the chamber itself. At this point in time, the gun will be considered safe and ready to be worked on. On an AR-15, you've got a push pin on the left side of the receiver that on the rear back that you'll push in. Sometimes you may need to give it a little bit of assistance, like a little straight pin, kind of get started. And you can roll it to this side, on the upside, and you pull this pin out. Okay. At this point, you'll be sure your actual action is closed. And then at this point, we're going to take the bolt carrier group and the carry handle out of the gun. No, it's not dirty at all.
Yeah, your hand's a good way to check and see whether or not you need to continue, and I think you should probably keep on going here.
Okay, this is the charging handle, and this is the bolt carrier group. As you can see, they collect a lot of powder residue along the way. So the first operation, basically we kind of wipe the excess dirt off. You can use these very convenient little brushes to clean inside there. At this point, you can use just any kind of little small, either phosphor bronze or these plastic type brushes to clean the inside this actual carry handle out, or charging handle out, sorry.
You know, based on the amount of powder residue there, I'm assuming it didn't go well for the hogs.
Not well, sir. Those in the coyotes had a bad day. Several times over again. Okay, this is your bolt carrier group, which you can see is where the majority of the powder residue will actually accumulate. So typically I will just go ahead and kind of get the majority of the heavy stuff off first. And then, and of course, I'll qualify with this is the way I do things. Right. Not necessarily the way that everybody should do things, or not necessarily the way everybody else will do things, but this is just kind of one. Like I've said in other videos, I don't like cleaning guns, so I try to find shortcuts when possible. Okay, now we're going to take the actual firing pin out of the bolt carrier group. We're going to take this little pin out and set it somewhere we don't lose it. You take the small pin out, then you take the firing pin out of the back of the gun, out of the back of the bolt, and this little piece right here, pardon me for not knowing what that's called,
A little piece works well.
And then this is the actual bolt head itself. Okay, so, and by the way, there's about, say 50 or 60 different little multi-tools that we sell to go along with kind of cleaning everything right down to the last little bitty, hole and crevice. So, these are just kind of the quick, go-to kind of things again. So, but they make all kinds of little tools to make life a whole lot easier along the way. And we normally have a little parts kit to kind of keep up with things, but today we don't have that. So we'll set them over in front of you, Larry, so they don't go anywhere.
Yeah, trust me. I think it's good to kind of do it this way because not everybody that sets about cleaning it is going to have everything that you could have to do a cleaning. I think this is probably a more realistic take on how a lot of cleanings get done, honestly. So.
Correct. Well, let me just go ahead and give you a brief overview of how to clean the barrel. Like I said, we probably don't have enough time to do all that in this video. Maybe we can come back and do this another time. But you have a hinge pin on the front side of the actual receiver right here. And you would drive that pin out, and then the actual upper would come off the actual lower. And there's many different devices as far as bore guides that will actually slide inside here, that will actually close the actual gap between the actual chamber in here. And then you would be able to take a regular cleaning rod and use your regular phosphor bronze brushes. You go through the process to get all the actual powder residue and copper residue out of the gun, out of the barrel itself. Typically would be about 10 to 12 strokes with a copper brush with some kind of powder solvent on it. Okay. When you get done with that, you wipe the barrel clean. When you go back with, if you want to really get it clean, they make all kinds of copper removers, and brass removers from the actual barrel. That then you go back and treat the barrel with some of that. But one thing to always remember is once you get done doing all that, you need to be sure that you put some kind of lubrication back inside the barrel, which is accomplished by, I typically take a small patch, put it on the actual brass jag, okay, and then to actually take and actually spray the actual patch down with something like a rim oil, something like this here,
okay,
and then push 3 or 4 of those through the actual barrel. That way you for sure get a complete coat of lubrication inside that barrel. So because being dry like that, especially with the weird kind of weather we have, it can start rusting pretty quick like.
And that the series of things you went through there, talking about the importance of the brushes, the solvent, and then the oil, that's true for any rifle that you have, whether it's AR, your hunting rifles. It's good to be vigilant about that. Keep them clean, keep them oiled, because you're right, down here in this climate, rust is relentless, and if you don't take those precautions, you're going to have some problems later that you really don't want to deal with.
That is correct. Rust is not a good thing for guns at all.
No.
And we're just going to continue cleaning little bits and pieces and parts and so forth and so on. And then the bolt itself. And there again, there are several specialty tools that are designed to clean out the actual bolt head spacings here, and then also be able to scrape the actual firing pin. If you get enough black stuff on that firing pin, sometimes you just got to scrape the actual powder residue because it builds up. If you leave it on there too long, which luckily 3 weeks has not been too long this time.
But we don't want to find out exactly how long too long is, right? That's the goal.
Exactly, that's the goal. All right, so we pretty much got everything wiped down. I'm a super big proponent of rim oil. Some people may like it. But just a word of caution: please don't put WD-40 on any of your firearms. It creates problems.
Yeah, it
forever.
kind of turns into a gum, sticks, and attracts everything you're trying to keep out.
That's right.
It has plenty of other great uses, but guns are not one of them.
So we go through, and I like to just kind of spray it down with some rim oil. And we'll probably go ahead and wipe it all off one more time, just to be sure we get all the stuff off of there, or the majority of stuff off of there. And we go back with grease. Some people don't like to use grease. Grease is really the best lubricant as far as for long term, is because grease will not burn off. Like whenever we were, in a helicopter, hanging out a helicopter shooting this thing, we were shooting, a few times at each hog.
Right.
More than one.
Well,
a lot of times.
any job worth doing is worth doing right.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. So anyway, we, it's really, good for your actual hunting time and your hunting opportunities to keep your guns as workable as possible during those particular times that you really need to have them working.
Yeah, you really don't want to go to the trouble of setting up a hunt, traveling down there with your tank full of what is now liquid gold, get down there and then have some sort of problem malfunction with your gun. It can absolutely ruin the trip.
Correct. Okay. And then just one quick thing we're going to do on the inside of this action here. Normally I would have an actual rod, almost like a Tyco tool kind of rod, one of those shotgun cleaning rods.
Yeah.
Now, I just keep one of them, but I've shortened it. I made it about 10 inches long.
Okay.
And basically just run it straight inside this actual crevice. It fits perfectly inside there. So without that having it here with me, we'll just kind of give it a quickie, as they say.
I want to compliment you on your courage of wearing a light colored shirt as you did this, because I would look like Pigpen from the cartoons if I even touched this thing right now.
Well, the day is not over with, yes sir. Just me. Okay, as far as where to put grease, here again, many different ideas about this and other thing. I don't think, there is always going to be too much grease.
Right.
But I haven't found that yet.
You haven't hit that mark.
So pretty much kind of give it a lick and a promise anywhere along the way.
He looks like an artist, doesn't he? The way he just
Yeah, right. An old artist. Yes, this is going to be on the bottom of the actual bolt carrier itself. And then I normally give it a little bit on the outside.
And as you work the action, that's going to distribute it and get it kind of everywhere it needs to
move
go.
around a little bit. Here again, it's probably more than what most people want to put on there, but there again, it's just really needs something for sure. Okay, so at this point, we got pretty much a little bit of grease here and there, a little bit of grease where we need it. So probably going to put the bolt back together. Try not to forget your firing pin, okay? Try not to forget your firing pin,
Yeah,
okay?
that's the pro tip of the day. Put the firing pin back in.
Yeah, make for a bad hunting day, really.
Well, it's a good hunting day for the animals.
Yeah, they get to walk away. And then we put the pin back in to hold the firing pin in place. Sometimes it needs a little bit of persuasion. That. And we'll put a little more grease just because I don't have no grease on me already.
Yeah. You're going to need to go boil your hands after this to get the grease off.
Give them a little shot of the good stuff. All right, let me get some of the stuff here and then we'll go ahead and put the things back together again here. Makes life so much more easy when you don't.
It really does.
When you don't try to be the smarty guy in a bunch. You
Yeah,
know?
if there's no lines, you can't have to worry about coloring inside the lines, right?
That's it. And this goes back in. The carry handle goes back in. And sometimes I struggle with that part for some weird reason. And then your bolt carrier groups get started back inside there. Everything slides together.
That click sounded good. It sounded like it was supposed to click like that. So.
Right. So everything's back together again. Everything sounds nice and smooth, and you have evidence. So you can look at the actual handle itself, and you see you've got some lubrication on
Yep.
top of it there. And so at this point in time, the gun is ready to be put up. I would, if I'm fixing to store it for a little while, a couple weeks, I'm not going to shoot it, but would go ahead, pretty much just spray the exterior of the gun with the rim oil itself, just kind of give it a coating.
Right.
You know, and then put it away for the next rainy day.
You know, Billy, I'm watching you clean this. I saw how dirty you got from that hunt and everything. I know you're a busy guy. I don't mind going on the hog hunt for you next time and getting my gun dirty. Because I know you're really busy. Taking time out to do these videos is already a struggle. Let me kind of dive on that grenade for you, and I'll go on the next helicopter hog hunt. As long as I don't actually have to pay for anything. And you know what? I won't even count myself as on the clock.
Really?
I'll do it free.
Free of charge.
Yeah, there's a
Man, I
reason
tell
I'm
you
employed
what,
month after month around here. Is I make offers
you
like
are a super good guy, Larry.
you know, it's for you, buddy. So next time I'll get my gun dirty. You keep this beautiful
Yes, sir.
beast in the
It's
safe,
safe.
and
Okay.
I'll suffer through that.
I'll
For
be
you.
sure to call you, okay?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you got my number.
Yes,
I'll
I
make sure my phone's on, and definitely call me, and I'll be waiting by the phone.
I bet you will, sir.
Yeah. Well, we hope you've enjoyed today's video, learned a little bit about cleaning your gun, and had some fun watching and learning. Remember to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and be sure to comment below thoughts you have about it, things you'd like to see, things you'd like us to cover in future videos, and we'll do our best to make that happen for you. Remember, if you've ever shot, or hunted with us, you're already a part of the Carter's Country family. Until next time, adios.
Adios. Oh my God, a first take? No way. No way.
She was trying to think of something. She was sitting there trying to think of what did he do
looking
wrong.
looking.
No, I know that look. I'm married. I know that look. Like, I want to approve of what he's done here, but I can't. So
Can't do it.
yeah,
No. What's it stuff called? Brill cream?
broker, a little devil
Yeah.
do me. My mom used to give me this stuff called Groom and Clean when I was like in elementary. Straight up petroleum product. Looked his hair, and I walked around with a flammable head my entire childhood and didn't even know it till like about 6th or 7th grade. You know, you start wanting to look a certain way for the ladies, and then it's like, Mom, I got to get a different kind of haircut and product.
Yeah.
You know.